I'm sorry. That's
Perk
not funny.
made a good point. Game 1 was a first for Anthony Edwards, Richard,
Yes.
and it's not the type of first that most people want here, especially if you're a Minnesota fan. Our stats gurus, they cooked this up. Ant had only one layup or dunk attempt in Game 1. That's his fewest in a playoff game in his career. And that lack of rim pressure, it led to his furthest average shot distance in any game of his career. So let's take a listen together to Anthony Edwards after the game.
I definitely got to shoot more. I only took 13 shots, but I'll say probably just get off the ball a little more, play without the ball. I think that'll be the answer because playing on the ball, they just gonna double and sit in the gaps all day. So gotta go watch some film and pick it apart. We'll figure it out.
Feel like was working. It's crazy.
What do you think they were laughing at?
I know what they was laughing at.
What were they laughing
It
at?
wasn't a free throw.
They laughing at
You're
SGA
darn
getting
right it was.
the
You
free
can see
throws.
where his finger was on the paper.
No, man, they better have been pointing at the three-point shots. That's
Why?
what they were missing because of the way they shot the ball. They had good looks. And Dante DiVincenzo said something, he was like, hey, they're rushing there, but if you go back and look at the way that their season ended last year, where Shea goes up and tries to block that ball in Dallas. And so they practice getting to your body, but not necessarily contesting, not necessarily jumping. So they have more time for these shots. So the fact that they missed so many open shots,
Right.
Minnesota just has to answer that.
So Naz Reid, he was 0 for 5 on wide open threes, right, in this game. And he said afterwards, I always mess up this phrase. I'm on a boat and I can't hit water in the ocean or whatever that saying
something
is.
along those lines.
That saying, he applied that to his shooting night. And I believe him. He just said, you know what, I like the looks I got. They got wide open looks, they didn't fall. And that has a cascading effect on Anthony Edwards. Do you think this is a one-game mirage, Brian, or is this the beginning of a very, very frightening trend for Minnesota?
Okay, so I think the thing is the way that you start to deal with Oklahoma City is you just don't give them the ball. I know that this sounds very basic. They take the ball from you. If you just don't give them the ball, that's the big thing. The turnovers are really important. The other thing is Shea is an expert at getting to the foul line. You've got to go in with the mindset to keep him off the line. They know this. They know that he averages a lot of free throws, and yet he was still able to draw contact. And by the way, the technical foul here, he's frustrated in. Jaden McDaniels did a really good job defending him.
You're mature, Rich.
But he fouled him 5 times, and as a result, he fouled out in the fourth quarter.
Right.
You can't successfully guard Shea and also foul him. You know that he's going to be good at getting those fouls. You have to be aware of that. You can't let him have it. If you have let him have a contested shot, you can do it. I know that people just assume he gets the calls, but I'm telling you, if you look at how the Wolves drove the ball yesterday, and you look at how the Thunder drove the ball, Ant drove the ball 1/4 of the times that Shea drove. Shea drove it 4 times to every time Ant drove it once.
You want to see what it looked like?
Let's do it.
We'll run the film.
Oh, we got film. We got film.
We're in the film room now.
You can see why Anthony Edwards is struggling. Look at the shell on the backside. Look at Casey Wallace not getting screened. All of a sudden, you have 6 hands, 3 people, activity, and Anthony Edwards is forced into a tough shot right there. Okay, here we go again. Thunder back in transition. Everybody is seeing ball and man. Look at Shea. He's not even guarding this man no more. He just stayed up, took away that driving gap. Just him being there stopped Anthony Edwards from driving. Right? Just for him showing his presence.
Why are you yelling at me?
I'm not.
Okay.
You just
It's
close
film.
to me. You just close to me. But you know what I'm saying? Like him just being there stopped it. But that's what they do.
But before Game 1, you said that it was a must-win for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I know it's just Game 1, but I got what you were saying. That is how potent this Oklahoma City team can be. They didn't do that. What situation are they in now?
No, I stand by, but he points out that Shea wasn't guarding Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and they were able to pack the paint because they weren't shooting the ball well from 3.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you shoot the ball well from 3, it opens up the floor. But I love what he said about the defense that they play. It reminds me of those 2007 San Antonio Spurs. I played against the 04 Pistons. Yes, I'm going to agree with you. It's just my one day here, so I'm just going to be nice. Okay. But no, defensively, the intensity that they play with is reminiscent to older defensive teams.
Right.
Because the Golden State Warriors and the Boston Celtics, they were just able to switch everything and keep you in front. These teams play coverage at a high level.
If you're Minnesota, the glass half full look at this game is we missed open shots. We are going to make them moving forward, and that's going to create space for Anthony Edwards to operate in the paint. That is what they're looking at. The glass half empty would be, okay, Anthony Edwards, he continues to sort of have these little tweaks throughout games. He tweaked his ankle in this one. Is that where the lack of explosiveness is coming from? He says it's not, and we have to believe, that's what he's saying, but that's going to be something to keep an eye on as they continue to play for this trophy as the Western Conference champs. I don't think you're supposed to touch it, Rich. I think you're supposed to have gloves for that. If you were in the building like you were yesterday, I don't know if you caught this, but SGA, a lot of people, they started looking at the way that he was just nonchalantly relaxing ahead of the game.
Relaxes.
And that's what I thought. I looked at this and I said, don't they know that this is exactly the way that Richard prepares for NBA Today?
Yes.
I thought it looked eerily familiar.
Look, there's a certain aura that we both carry. Like, just whenever we're in the presence of our teammates, our coworkers, there's just an energy that everyone just gravitates towards, and I understand.
The Minnesota fans were like, well, he's just practicing laying on the ground. That's what they were saying.
Well, yes,
Brian.
but he's got to get up to shoot his free throws, though.
That is a windy zinger for you. Richard, we will let you go. We know you're a busy, busy man. There's so much to do here in OKC, and you got to get
Can we
to
get
it.
Andrea over here?
Coming up here on NBA Today, Andrea is joining us, and we're also going to peer into the history books and the crystal ball to preview tonight's monstrous Game 1 in Madison Square Garden. Which matchup decides who advances? Plus, speaking of the history books, Caitlin Clark just keeps putting her name in them. We'll tell you what she did last night, what it means for the state.